First of all, I want to thank the college for the really warm welcome. And I want to start off my speech by saying I'm truly grateful to be here because the photo that you see was me exactly 5 years ago. I was a volunteer at a TEDx event in my college. It was also the year I decided to drop out of college. And everyone around me told me, Shubhankar, don't do this. Why are you doing this? You're throwing your life away. You just have one more year. But deep inside, I knew that I had a different calling for me. Well, 5 years later, after building a coaching company, a branding agency, a AI software company, being an investor, and most importantly, a proud TEDx speaker, I can say life has come in a full circle. It's been a crazy journey over the past 5 years out there. I had the opportunity to learn from coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs, investors, millionaires, and even billionaires out there, the top 1% of the world out there. And today in this talk, I want to share with you two things. The first thing was my learnings that I got while interacting with the top 1% of people out there. Number two, how we can integrate it with artificial intelligence and being the top 1% out there. I want to start off by sharing my story to you. I was born in a teacher's family. Everyone was a teacher. My mom was a teacher, my grandmother was a teacher, my granddad was a professor in IIT, my uncle was a teacher. It was a house of complete Saraswati, but no Lakshmi. We were always dead broke. So at the age of 17, I got my first job. It was in a movie theater. I used to sell popcorn, clean plates, and I used to do overtime. With the overtime money I got, I bought my first course in handwriting analysis. I would look at people's handwriting and predict their personality. And once I finished writing that exam, my teacher over there asked me, would you like to teach this to others, Shubhankar? I was like, this is amazing. I'm getting into the legacy of my whole family. I was like, yes, I jumped in. And at the age of 18, I got into something called NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. I was also a door-to-door salesman along with my college. And I began my training and coaching journey. I used to teach people spoken English, communication skills, how to crack interviews. And at the age of around 2021, I took that fateful decision of dropping out of college. I took my certificates, prepared a resume, and went in search of a job. And guess what happened? 21 companies rejected me. And finally, I was able to get a job as a telecaller in a training company. From there, I decided to go on another learning journey. Because though I don't have a lot of formal education, I'm a firm believer in learning. And I got around 13 internationally accredited certifications and diplomas out there. And I set up my coaching company, my branding agency. And one day, one of my mentors called me and asked me, hey, I got this crazy opportunity where I'm investing in a startup. Would you also join in? It's an edtech and it's down your alley. I was like, sure. I jumped into investing in startups. And it is during that time I got to know about this really new concept called artificial intelligence. And I decided, you know what? I want to jump into artificial intelligence. And I did what any one of us would do. I went to Google and typed best AI courses in India, most recommended AI courses in India, highest rated AI courses in India. And I got a ton of forms to fill up, which I did. And when I got the call back, the answer was the same. We are really, really sorry. We can't accept you because you're a dropout and you need to have a degree with minimum 50% passing marks. And that was one of the lowest points I faced. I was like, have my decisions come back to bite me? But as we all know, an entrepreneur is not someone who gives up. I began my own learning journey in the field of artificial intelligence. Those were 13, 14-hour days, and I devoured every single video, every single PDF, book, influencer. I did everything. And I got together with a developer on Instagram, and we launched a really cool software that helped coaches. And in just 4 months, more than 3,000 plus people signed up to our software and our programs. I launched my own AI coaching program. We had hit 6-figure months out there. We were getting 10x ROI on our ad spends. And most importantly, people from US came and asked us, we would love to license your software, Shubhankar. And I was like, we're actually going somewhere. And I went and dug deeper out there. I talk to people who are more into AI, the investors, the tech guys, the geeks out there. What do you think of AI? And everybody had the same answer. AI is the future. That is what is going to shape the world that is to come. I would like to call the term the AI Renaissance. An AI Renaissance is going to happen out there. And in this AI Renaissance to happen, there are 6 particular areas where AI is going to impact massively. And I want to share those 6 areas with you and how you can adapt out there. The first area that you see is called AI in personal assistance. When I wanted to come here, the first thing that I did was I went to ChatGPT and asked, hey, I'm in Bangalore, I want to come to this college, prepare a travel itinerary for me. And he prepared a brief itinerary. I went to an airplane booking website, there was an AI chatbot. Then I went to a hotel booking website, there was an AI chatbot. Wherever you go, AI chatbots are going to pop up and they're going to make our lives 10x easier. The second area where AI is going to make a massive impact is in social media. Do you guys know that 95% of people on social media are consumers? They don't produce anything. They're either for reels, entertainment, or some basic learning. Why? Because they're just not equipped. They're really hesitant. They don't have that confidence. But thanks to AI, every single person who is out there can become a producer on social media and not just a consumer. And the tech is insane. Do you know there is an AI bot that can analyze your previous LinkedIn posts, and based on that, it will write new posts for you every single day and post it forever, meaning your LinkedIn is automated for life. That's the technology we are going forward. The third area, which is really, really amazing and I'm passionate about, is AI in education. In India, the ratio of students to teachers in a class is 1:40. For every 40 students, there is one teacher. How is the teacher going to handle it no matter how much they try? Someone like me who's sitting in the back bench, who's not understanding anything, might be left behind. But right now, it need not be the case. Thanks to artificial intelligence, we can build custom-made learning curriculums for each and every student out there. The fourth area is AI in mental health and emotional well-being. Let's face it, in India especially, a lot of us face immense mental health challenges. But how many of us really go and seek help? Why? Because it's a taboo, right? Well, thanks to AI, we have AI-powered chatbots that can be there and act as a virtual therapist for us. I agree that it cannot completely replace conventional counselors, psychiatrists, and psychologists, but having some support is better than having no support. The next part is my favorite part, that is AI in finance. Did you know the top 1% of people out there own more wealth than the bottom 50% of them combined? Why? Because of 2 things. Number 1 is access to data. The second thing is the speed in processing and analyzing the data. For example, there is a company called BlackRock, which is the world's largest asset management company. They manage more money than the GDP of India. They have a proprietary AI tech called Aladdin that can make millions of calculations and predict markets for them. Granted, we all might not be able to access Aladdin, but thanks to AI, the bridge between the 1% and the bottom 50% is closing up. The last area out there is AI in business automation. AI will make everything cheaper, faster, and better. If anything is repetitive, monotonous, and manual, AI will replace it. I can vouch for this as an entrepreneur myself. Any area that can be sales, marketing, operations, HR, AI can jump into this. When I tell this to people, people ask me, hey Shubhankar, will AI take away the jobs? Kinda yes, kinda no. You see, when computers came into the world, the initial wave was filled by a lot of job losses. But eventually, a lot of jobs were created. AI is the same thing. It is a net positive that is going to change the world out there. Now, the big question is, how are we going to participate in this renaissance, and what is our role to play? I got you. I call it the 4 I's, okay? The first I is that of an influencer. If you are someone who has figured out the social media game, you know how to post content, you know how to build a following, and you know how to connect with people, you are an influencer. And the biggest strength you have is something called social capital. Believe it or not, in this era, social capital can be way more important than actual financial capital. You have two main points to leverage. Number one is the audience that you have built. Number two is the brand you have built. The second I is called innovators. If you're someone who's like a geek, who loves to build things, who loves to get into the nitty-gritties of things, and you're genuinely curious about AI, you are an innovator. The biggest strength you have is something called intellectual capital. And you have two main big leverage points out there. The first thing is to create solutions to complex problems, and the second thing is to have a competitive advantage of all the people out there. The third I is called an investor. And if you are someone who has access to capital and you have an eye of identifying really good opportunities, investing is for you. The biggest strength, of course, is financial capital. Now, as an early investor myself, well, I don't invest without the guidance of my mentors and people out there, but I can tell you one thing. 8 out of 10 investments in startups go down. That's right. But the two which succeed make you all the money. And your biggest leverage point is, of course, cash is king. The last I is that of an incubator. If you're someone who loves to take existing tech and integrate it in people's lives and businesses and help them grow, you are an incubator. The biggest strength you have is something called technical capital out there. And you have two main leverage points. The first one is having understanding of the market and what people need. Second is having experience of working in the markets and knowing what is the product customer fit out there. Because in this AI renaissance that is to come, there are 6 main areas and there are 4 roles we can play. We all can have a big part to play in the big AI renaissance that is to come. And I would like to conclude this talk by asking 2 important questions. Which I do you belong to, and how are you going to change the world using AI? Thank you very much.